lecture, you will be exposed to different definitions of curriculum, and by the end of the lecture, you will be able to classify the definitions under two broader curricular orientations. Let's start with the question, what is curriculum? Curriculum is detailed syllabus. Some people say that curriculum is list of topics and the detailed content in different subjects. To some people, curriculum is a set of textbooks. Curriculum is a set of content as well as processes. Some people define curriculum as a set of activities to attain certain outcomes. And some people say that curriculum is a set of school activities happening inside and outside the classroom, aiming at social change. There is another definition which says that curriculum is a set of school activities happening inside and outside the classroom, aiming at student development. What is curriculum? We have seen different definitions of curriculum. The question is still there, what is curriculum? Actually, curriculum is a fluid construct and may be understood as a discourse and ideological orientation. It says that more than 120 definitions of the term curriculum appear in the professional literature devoted to curriculum. So no definition is wrong actually. You might have seen people saying that this definition is correct and their definition is correct and others' definition is wrong. But if we look at Portley's research, we see that more than 120 definitions are there in curriculum literature. Says that curriculum remains debatable in terms of definition and delineation. It is a difficult construct. It is difficult to delineate curriculum. It is difficult to come up with a definition of curriculum. Definitions have been developed locally because of the absence of a formal agreement on what curriculum is. So maybe you will find a different definition of curriculum in Western countries. You will find a totally different concept of curriculum in the East. There is another research which says that people who work in schools, common sense has always suggested that curriculum is simply what the schools teach. So this definition is very common. This aspect is very common in Pakistan. Parents, teachers and children, most of them define curriculum in the same way. The question is still there. So what is curriculum? What is the most appropriate definition of curriculum? Tapa defined curriculum as a set of learning plans, while Parsons and his colleague defined curriculum as a concept that occurs both in and outside the school. However, curriculum is usually believed as what happens in schools. I would like you to look at the time of these two definitions. The first definition appeared in 1962. The second definition has appeared after nearly 50 years. So you see that concept of curriculum has evolved over the years. If today we only believe that curriculum is a set of learning plans, then probably we are defining it the way it was defined 50 years ago. I'm not saying that that is wrong definition. This is just an orientation of defining the curriculum. Doyle, curriculum occurs at three levels: the institutional curriculum, the programmatic curriculum, and the classroom curriculum. So, if we look at curriculum with Doyle's perspective, then we may define curriculum differently at the institution level, at the program level, and at the classroom level. Says that curriculum may be explained with micro or macro perspectives. Macro perspectives on curriculum focus on studying, for instance, political, philosophical, or psychological frameworks and foundations of education and on the curriculum, while micro perspectives deal curriculum at the classroom level. He says that there are two distinct curriculum orientations. One is syllabus orientation and the other one is pedagogical orientation. To explain these two orientations, Grundy has given example of football. I am going to quote the same example. Question for you. What is football? Football an object? Football an activity? To some, football is a game and to some it is an object. Which description of football is more elaborated? Just think about it. Which description of football is more appropriate for you? How would you define football? I say that football is an object. Then it does not include players and the activity. But if I say that it is a game, then it is more holistic. It includes the object as well as the activity. Similarly, curriculum definitions can also be classified under two umbrellas: object orientation or syllabus orientation and pedagogical orientation. So, we looked at different definitions in the start. I'm going to revisit some of them. Someone says that curriculum is detailed syllabus. It means the person is defining curriculum with syllabus orientation. Someone says that curriculum is list of topics and the detailed content in different subjects. Again, the person is defining curriculum with syllabus orientation. If someone says that curriculum is a set of activities to attain certain outcomes, we can say the person is defining curriculum with pedagogical orientation. Definition that curriculum is a set of school activities happening inside and outside the school aiming at social change, again pedagogical orientation. Says that curriculum is a set of school activities happening inside and outside the classroom aiming at student development. Again, this definition is rooted into pedagogical orientation. I hope that this mini lecture has tried to clarify the term curriculum and it has been able to make you understand why do we have different definitions of curriculum. Thank you very much for watching this video.